Have you ever thought about taking Reiki? Or have you taken Reiki, but it's been a while? I have got the most exciting course coming up at Echo Ridge Academy that I am so stoked to share with you that I am at the clinic today and I had to record this and I don't even have my mic or anything here because I just interviewed the beautiful Bridget and she is a powerhouse. She is probably the biggest powerhouse that I've come across in energy healing. This woman's got talent. Why would you want to take it again? Okay. So I explain the in our interview. Why would you want to take it again? I explain in the interview. Years ago when I started taking laser, I took that course 5 times because every time I'd bring on a new assistant, I would go with my assistant to train my assistant. And so what happened is every time I went, I'd be like, "Oh, well, hold on a second. What about this? Oh, hold on a second. What about this?" And then I would come back with all these questions. My fifth time I got there, they saw my name on the roll and said, "We're bringing in the physicist because this girl is asking us such unbelievable questions about light therapy and energy and how it interacts with the cells." And these are questions some of our instructors can't answer. So even if you've taken Reiki before, this will light it up that much more. It's definitely worth jumping into. So excited, and sign up for more details.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay. Awesome. I'm so excited to see you in person. You look beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, I'm so excited. So, we were talking about building out a Reiki class, and I am stoked for it.
Are you?
Yeah, because
Good.
when I learned Reiki, the instructor didn't really know how to answer questions. Now, this was
Oh.
25 years ago as well.
Yeah, for sure. Be so different.
We definitely know more now than we did back then, for
Yes.
sure. But I would still say that Reiki in itself is amazing, but there's so much more that goes to it that you can't just take it and say, "Oh, I'm good to go." That's the
No.
beginning. Would you
Hmm.
agree?
Well, it's ongoing. Once you start the Reiki journey, it's ongoing. And I find, well, for myself personally, I turned into an energy junkie because I
Mhm.
loved the transformation. Like you literally begin to see your life transform, and it all starts within. And that's technically how it all is, within, so without. And Reiki ideally forces you to experience that, so to speak.
Yeah, like I found for me, the first one, like, because I was really like, I'm not sure about this. The second one, I'm not sure. The third one literally was like,
What
what is
am
this
I
stuff?
doing?
What is this? What's happening? What's happening to me, right? Something
My
happened.
superpowers.
Because the reality is it's really going to be based on, it's not about your teacher, it's not about Reiki, it's about when your body, when you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, when you're ready, that sometimes is just that catalyst that says, "Okay, you're ready? Here you go." But if you're not
Exactly.
actually ready and you take it, nothing's going to happen. And for some people, they get this like giant Kundalini awakening and they tap into energy for other reasons. So, but
Well, and that was one of the parts and parcels of Dr. Usi. He was able to give this tool to so many people to use, but then he would go out in the street and see these people that he gave this tool to and start to utilize, and then realize they were going back into their sicknesses or their mental health issues and everything. And then that's when he realized I can only be the catalyst or the attuner. Um, but you have to go and do the work. If you
mhm.
want to heal, you have to make that decision. We can supply all the tools we want, but it comes down to the person wanting to discipline themselves to make these changes. And the energy work is a catalyst for that. Um, it's going to clear and clean a lot of things first, and then motivate you and guide you to kind of where your next path is, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I look back on, because I took it like 25 years ago, and my journey has been pretty slow and steady, I would say.
Are you utilizing the tool every day
You know what? In a different way.
in a different way?
Okay.
Okay.
I did my
But
healing.
for yourself, I guess I'm asking.
Yeah, like I did a lot of self-healing, but I realized now I'm sitting here going, oh, well, hold on a second. I was just using it this way, but I
Right.
wasn't fully utilizing it because I still had a lot of mental blocks. I had a lot of emotional blocks. I had some disconnect happening, was still getting sick because I didn't understand all of it. I didn't embody all of it.
Right.
And then one day it just clicked, right? If getting cancer once didn't show me, getting cancer twice, 9 surgeries and left my body. And then
Right.
finally the universe went bang, lady. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, I can see it now, right? I'm a bit of a slow learner.
Remove the cause and there will be no effect.
Right. So there was like this giant aha moment where I went, well, everyone can talk and ramble and this and that, but at the end of the day, as cliche as this sounds, it very much is love and fear. And
Absolutely.
as long as you're holding on to fears, you're not going to connect because that's the opposite. Like you can say yin and yang, light and dark,
Right.
God and devil, right? There's always that polar opposite. And I think that what actually triggered me for my giant like aha moment was when I read Napoleon Hill's Outwitting the Devil. And when I read that, I was like, it was just like I had this instant download understanding of, well, here's the energy, here's how it works. And I went, oh, that simplifies things. Now, could I explain that to anybody? No.
It's like trying to explain to somebody what a strawberry tastes like. It's
Yeah,
you can't
or
do it. You absolutely can't do it. It's
yeah.
something people have to experience for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm trying to think. I guess my journey would have started. Well, if my son is 26, it would have been around. I think he was around two-ish. Yeah, he was around two. Um, I had developed this weird. I had started to have this vibrational shift happening in my body. I could not stop my body from these tremors. And I went to doctors and specialists. We did lumbar taps. We did every test we could to try to figure out what is causing this problem. And finally, when I went in after doing all sorts of stuff, went and sat down with my doctor, he started writing all these prescriptions out for me. I'm like, what's that? He's like, symptom one, symptom two, symptom. And I took them all, I crumpled them up and I threw them at him. And I said, I don't want medication. I want to understand what is happening to me. And he said, he looked at me, goes, okay, he goes, you want an honest answer? And I said, well, of course. He's like, 8% of women your age start to go. And I went, nice. And I left. And I thought, I went to my car and I was crying and I was like, hey, what is happening to me? And like I literally was driving down the road and I could tell that my body was about to shut off. And I had Creed, my son, with me in the seat. And I remember pulling off to like a carport area and I phoned 911. I said, where I am, what's happening. And when I woke up in the hospital and the two paramedics were standing at my bed with my son. And my son goes, see, I told you she'd be back.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then it was after that that I began digging deeper tests and whatnot. Um, Still couldn't figure out anything. Then I talked to my girlfriend who was living in Ireland at the time, and she's like, Bridget, she's like, why don't you do some energy work? Go get a Reiki treatment, blah 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 blah. And I was like, oh my god, we had talked about this before. So I started googling and researching Reiki, and then I went to save this one website that I resonated with. And as soon as I hit save, it said, you want to replace? I had looked at this Reiki website 1 year prior to the exact date I was looking at it. So I was like, yeah, okay, that's a sign. And then I said, I'm not doing a treatment. I went and got what's called the attunement and lined myself up and did the 21. So level one, the 21-day self treatment. My first 2 days, I was on cloud 1 million, the bliss. Everything was magical. The color stood out. Everything was beautiful. I was on this euphoric high. Day 3, Mack truck hit me. I was in bed. I was purging so many emotions. I was just purging my body, releasing, letting go, altering, shifting. My vibrations were all over the place. Um, and I remember probably like day 17 in, and I phoned my Reiki master and I went, I did not sign up for this. I feel worse. I don't even recognize myself. I can't handle people. I don't want to, like, it was just, I was a mess. I was a wreck. And I thought, what have I just done to myself? She's like, trust the process, keep going. And I was like, I have no choice. So I kept going. And lo and behold, my last 2 days, day 20, day 21, were just as beautiful as my first 2 days. So after that, once I did my purge and my cleanse for myself, and trust me, everybody's story is going to be different. It was after that that I was like, I want to do more. I want to do more. So I began my energy journey with lots of different modalities and whatnot. But what I can say is after the first one, and I kept using the energy on myself, that's when the gifts start to pop out. That's when you start to see what your abilities are for yourself. Like, can you communicate with past loved ones? Are you seeing auras? When you tap into people, are you getting storylines, messages? Sometimes it looks like TV screens. Like, it's different for everybody. And once that began for me, I made my connections with spirit guides and a celestial group, and that now my journey has progressed from there on. And like I said, it's 100% how it will unfold for everybody will be completely different. Their own stories, what they have to release, what they have to go through. But what it will help people is you're going to go inward. You're going to look at stuff without a choice and shadow work ideally. And you're going to bring your dark stuff up and you're going to look it in the face and call it for what it is. And you're going to change it. You're going to release it. You're going to forgive all parties involved and you're going to move forward. And ideally, that's how it works. You're making a commitment to yourself with yourself, using this energy, being true to your disciplines, and watching the transformation unfold. And I can tell you, it is beautiful. It's magical for everybody. It's different. Quick stories of people I've attuned over the years. I remember this one girl, for years, she was all congested in here. Like, just, there was no relief, no medications, everything. We did the attunement, and the first thing that cleared from her was all here. She said she kept purging for 3 days. It was whatever she was storing here just started releasing. And then for her, it was her third eye and her crown chakra that went boom and opened up for her. And her healing began that way. So she had more of a physical healing. I've had people who, after we do an attunement, they do their self-healing, they change their life drastically. They quit their job, get a new job. I remember one girl, she scared me because she she quit her job, she left her husband, she moved out, like full transformations can happen for people. But again, it's your own journey, your way, your story, and what each person has to go through for themselves.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it's quite
And
the story.
well, you know what? And I think it makes a difference as to who you're working with when you're going through this, because
Yeah.
I did see there was an online Reiki that somebody was doing. It was really cheap. And I thought to myself, well, hold on a second. If I'm going to do this, if I'm going to sign up, because I've already done all my 3 Reikis, but I'm looking at it going, well, I want to do it again. Because I mean, there's been courses. There was a course I took when I learned laser. I took that course 5 times. I'd bring in a new assistant with me every single time. Every
Right.
single time I'd learn something new. And I thought to myself, no, I'm going to redo this. I recently, a few years ago, started teaching at a massage school. So I basically redid the whole 2 year program. And every time you redo something like this, you get more out of it. So I thought to
Of
myself,
course.
okay, if I'm going to redo this, I want to know that there is somebody there who can say, hey, this is normal. Hey, hold on a second, try this.
Absolutely.
Because when I went through it the first time, I was, because normally you kind of set your hands gently over top, but I couldn't do that. My hands would do this to the body. And I'm like, what's happening? But I could feel inside the body. I could go in and find things.
Yeah.
My Reiki teacher was like, oh, just concentrate. I'm like, but what am I doing? She wasn't able to go, okay, this is your talent coming out. Clearly, you can feel inside the body. We're going to need to get you some kind of a mentor for this. So I didn't know
And
what to
and I
do.
so that's interesting that she told you to go above the body. Reiki's is a full hands on. There's not one person I've not put my hands on.
Yeah. Whereas this one
Yeah.
said, no, 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 you have to just hover your hands. And I'm like, no, because my body is like, my hands are doing
Telling you.
this. They're telling
Yeah.
me
Telling you.
it's like a magnet. I couldn't pull it off the body, right? But I
Yeah.
didn't have that person. So I really struggled for a lot of years because I'm like, if you can't explain to me what's going on with me, then maybe you're just not the teacher for me. I mean, there was
Of
other people
course.
who loved it, right? So,
And that's just it. It's who you resonate with. And that's how I know the universe. Like I always get a little memo, universal memo, so to speak, when that I know that I'm going to get a group of people coming forward for my energy to help them with their shift or where what they resonate with or what their alignment is, right?
mhm,
Um, and I just know it's a calling for people. They kind of get this like tick, 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 something there, and then it's how it unfolds for you. It's the journey. And the two biggest things. So after my attunement, my vibrations, I became 100% healthy. But what I also learned through my guides and whatnot was I was undergoing a full-fledged DNA alteration upgrade, and my body's frequency wasn't matching what it was trying to connect to, and that's why I was having all this weird, bizarre uh, physical symptoms that no doctor or test could identify what was happening. And it wasn't until I went through this process and then I regulated my nervous system, my central nervous system, and then that allowed me to be able to connect to other frequencies and energies around. Um, but it 100% put me right into alignment, basically unlocked things that are locked up, and kind of showed me where my path will be heading and what to do for people. And it's been quite the journey because we as healers, we're so eager in taking care of the other person that we forget to do things for ourselves. So a lot of the mistakes are not properly putting self-protection around yourself, not grounding, not trusting your intuition. So for example, that's what you just shared was your lady or your instructor um, was not allowing you just to go with the intuition. She was more about maybe just the technical aspect. This is the way to do it. But with Reiki, the energy is so flowing and will work with you the way it needs to work with you, which will be different than me and everybody else. But the key thing is it's going to teach you how to trust your intuition. And I mean strong. And I mean you're going to be tested. And then it turns
mhm.
into a game. So you get in your car and you're like, okay, parking angels, where's my spot? Where can I go? And then your intuition, you listen to it and it's going to tell you. And you start asking yourselves questions where you can work one on one with your intuition and it gets stronger and stronger. And then it'll test you. All of a sudden, you'll start to hear the voices and you'll be like, what do you mean turn right? I don't need to turn right. I have to go this way. If you don't turn right and you go left, all of a sudden you're stuck in like a traffic jam, an accident, or whatever. And you're like, I didn't listen. And then they're like, yeah, right. And the
Yep.
more you listen to your intuition, your life alters drastically because then you feel that connection, that you feel this divine connection, this spiritual connection, like a tether cord to something greater, because now you know something's got your back, something's with you. And what is that something? Right.
Mm, mm,
And that's the beautiful, that's the magic behind it. It's its own energy. It works well. We, the practitioner, or whatever you want to call us, we're just here to help guide that energy. And when I say we do an attunement the other, like an individual, we're lining up key chakras to take in the full universal life force to go through their hands and then into their own body and working through their own, like, ideally it's like you're getting whammoed with this beautiful loving energy of light, and it's just exploding in your body, and it's trying to take every nook and cranny corner of your body. But it's like, wait a minute, what is that? We got to get rid of that. We got to get rid of this. We got to get rid of that. And that's what happens.
Sounds an awfully lot like a Kundalini experience.
Really. You know what? At the end of the day, the attunement and the person's own healing is their own enlightenment, their own way, however they need to receive it. It's not like I'm going to say, okay, everybody, guess what? In 5 minutes, this is what you're going to feel. This is what's going to happen. This is what, you know what I mean? Everybody's different. The only thing I do tell people is whoever you live with, your loved ones, just give them a heads up. You might appear a bit manic. You might have really great days. You might have like horrific days. You might be a person who has very rarely ever expressed a lot of anger or whatnot because it's bottled up. Well, guess what? You're gonna look like a complete wacky because that's got to come out. You're gonna be like, nothing.
Yep.
It's
It's so
important.
true.
It's
It's so
yeah.
true. Yeah.
So it's important to let the loved ones around you, and then discipline yourself when you're out in public, or just don't go.
Mhm. Yeah, it definitely been through that.
Right. And I don't want to say these things to scare anybody, because it's not a scary process. It's a beautiful process. And trust me, the purge is like your body. If you might want to cry all day, cry all day. Your body might not want to eat meat anymore. Like your body, you just have to listen and respect and honor your vessel while you're going through this process. And you just need to listen to it, because it's going to make you do it regardless. You can battle it, or you can just go with it.
And that really leads me to my next point, which is I was saying before, like I've seen some other people offer these online stuff, which you can do. But the reality is once you start, okay, let's do this. Let's open up this energy. And you're like, okay, I got this. I got this. But all of a sudden you are going to go bang with the fear. It's going to be like, I can't do that. And it's nice to have a little bit of help, a little bit of
Absolutely.
support to be like, no, you can this, because every single fear is logical for the person that's in the fear. Like I could be terrified of that Kleenex box, and that's a real fear. It doesn't matter
Absolutely.
what your fear is. Overcoming those fears is going to be the hardest thing that you've ever had to do. Accepting yourself 100% for who you are. And that's, I mean, that's I was thinking about that the other day, because when you have to accept yourself, sometimes it's not rational what you're not accepting. Because it's understandable if you say, hey, you know what, I need to accept something that goes against society.
Yeah.
Whereas sometimes it just goes against a weird belief to be like, well, what do you mean you can't do this? Even though that seems like, well, why would you be afraid of that? And then you stop and go, yeah, why would I be afraid of that? Why would that be a block for me when I'm really, really good at it? Or when
Exactly.
everybody in the world accepts it but me? Really? Like, so your
Well, I
ego
mean, I
make
think
it
I
these
think
walls that you got to jump over, and having that support system to jump over it is really important, because you
absolutely.
just need to know. And when I was going through my cancer and I was going through my chemotherapy, and I had a couple people on the other end of the cell phone that I could message, and just knowing that they did it, I'd be like, I got this, because you
Yeah.
feel so alone. And so when we bring people through this 21-day process, having that group to go, yeah, yeah, you got that. Oh yeah, so you were curled up on the floor for 3 hours? Way to go. Happy for
Yeah.
you. That's a good thing, right? Because sometimes you're like, no, I can't do that. Oh my gosh, I started, no, we're here to tell you that everything is good and you are 100% supported. And I think that's the difference that a lot
Safe
of
and
people
loved.
don't
Absolutely.
have. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. And it's funny because it's still, I mean, over in the UK, Reiki practitioners are on government payroll. Over
Wow.
here, yeah, over here we're kind of still like, oh, it's woo woo. Well, it's not woo woo, it's actual energy. And the fact that we're doing what we're doing right here, like there's a frequency that's showing my picture, and there's a frequency that's showing your picture, and there's a frequency that's making it all happen together. You know what I mean? But so every day we pick up our phones, we see that, we turn on our radios. Well, how come I can get radio station 101, and why isn't radio station 102 interfering with 101? because they're different frequencies. So
Beautiful.
ideally, we are just tapping into the frequencies, but we're picking what we need in order to serve ourselves and help each other.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then that's where I guess it comes now to help people understand the science behind it.
It's
Um,
whatever it takes for you to go, light bulb goes off, I get
yeah,
it. And sometimes you can't explain how it is you understand. For me, because I'm in a medical profession, and as much as I was into healing, doing osteopathy and massage, we have to scientifically prove everything
of
that we
course.
do. And every
Yes,
time I take a course, I actually go to my instructors and say, tell me what the limitations of this are. That's more important to me because then I know how to bring it into my wheelhouse. I would want to know as a Reiki self healer or a Reiki practitioner to say, what are the limitations? I need to know that so that I don't get myself into trouble, right?
right.
So, if you're going to learn how to swim, the limitation is when it's lightning out and the waves are 30 feet high, get out.
Yeah,
That is not the
yeah,
time to go in, right? So we need to know what the limitations are.
of
Not that it doesn't
course.
work, but there's limitations to everything. There's
Well,
even
and
limitations to prayer if you're not in the right energy frame. So there's always those limitations. And so for me, I had to deep dive into a lot of science experiments and I read 1,000 books, wrote 1,000 reports, and then one day went, oh, I get it. So everyone's going to be a little different as to what gets it into their nervous system to be like, oh, I can feel it now. I can sense it. I know it. I see it. I hear it. I smell it. One of your intuitive senses is just going to
yeah,
light it up.
absolutely, absolutely. And that's the beautiful thing about this as well is eventually like you're going to feel it. You're going to know something's happening, and that's the beautiful thing. And what I would always tell people after they do their 21 days, so they've cleared out all their stuff, their junk, so they're not putting it into anybody else, is get two plants and same sunlight, same watering routine, same everything. Just move them apart and daily just channel your Reiki energy, Reiki the one plant, leave the other one, and you just watch.
You know
Just
what? We're
watch the
going to do that.
transformation. Yeah,
We
just watch the
we
transformation.
can we add that in the beginning or should you wait until the 21 days?
It should be after the 21 days because
Okay.
while we're releasing, so if I'm releasing some dark density, like unhealthy something, I don't want to channel that into a healthy plant.
Okay.
We have to make sure energetically we've shifted the key things that we need to remove so we're not embodying that into our animals, into our loved ones, those things. Because once you're, I guess you want to call it activated,
Yeah.
um, when you lay in bed with your partner, you're always going to be having that slow essence of the life force going through you, and that's going to extend out into every part of your ether body as well. Which means, like when you walk into a store, we start noticing how people will look at you different because you're radiating different.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I'm vibing high and I walk into a public place, I attract so many people. I have strangers coming up to me, just talking, complimenting. Like they'll come up and say, I don't know why I'm drawn to you. I'm just drawn to you. It's so I honestly do a lot of online shopping and having it delivered.
I attract the children. I'll go into a grocery store and all the children are looking and they're waving and they're like, hey. And I'm like, my husband's always like, why are you always like, I'm like,
Children are really good at seeing the earth angels,
yeah,
right?
yeah. It's
So
pretty cool. Now, what can you say to the healers out there, the massage therapists, the osteopaths, the acupuncturists, the chiropractors? Because all of these people are in a place of helping other people heal, albeit they might be focusing on manual, but all manual work has a spiritual end to it, whether you realize it or not.
right.
So, how can you use this to make those treatments that much better? How can you add that into your intuitive wheelhouse?
Well, first and foremost, obviously, everybody is going to have to ask their clients for permission to do the energy work on them. So they'll have to let them know, maybe have a little bit of something written or whatever to explain to individuals who don't really understand it or whatnot. Um, and then they're just activating themselves while they're doing their work. And basically, you're going to become your own textbook. You're going to learn about your gifts while interacting with other people to see what they're also getting from it. For massage, I guarantee you, once somebody, a Reiki practitioner, activates, start massaging, that person's gonna like go right to sleep. Like they're just gonna be lights out. They're gonna wake up and go, "What just happened?"
Yep, yep, that happened to my clients.
Yeah, and then so it's obviously going to be calming and soothing, and people are going to feel like very relaxed. They might something might come very clear in their mind for them. It can trigger all sorts of different things for them. It just depends what's happening in their life right at that time. Um, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's funny because I can also, like, if I'm in a public place and I know I'm beside somebody who's really stressed and I can see that in my mind, I speak to them with give them permission, and while I'm standing beside them, I am just channeling, like immediately channeling. And again, doing the plant exercise is going to show you what happens when you're just channeling your energy all the time. Now I know it's out my eyes, it's out my smile. It's a constant thing for me now, but that's only because of where we are energetically in the world, 3D going to 5D. So my purpose is very different, and I am creating a very unique energy attunement for this, and I'm almost done, which I'm really excited for. And that's going to be for the individuals who already know and understand the transition we're going through. And I think it'll kind of be like Reiki level 1 on steroids, so to speak.
Yeah, that's exciting. I know that's really exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. Or for all the energy healers who feel that they've hit a plateau in their existence or whatnot. But it's time now. It's time. I mean, even back in the day when I learned my Reiki master studied in the sense that, like back in actually UC's time, um, we would learn our symbols and everything, all our paperwork, we'd have to crumple up and get rid of it. Like we literally were not supposed to keep it, was all supposed to be internal and just known. And then you teach that way. Because back in that time, obviously, um, it was a threat. Anything to do with your well-being or self-healing or anything natural was a threat to their government back then. So that's the way it kind of started and was handed down. And
Yeah.
yeah, and my master kind of stuck to that after, but then after that, I went out and found as much information on this as I could and built my archives up, right?
And now we're in the age of awakening.
Yeah,
There's so much out
absolutely.
there. One of my favorite shows is Next Level Soul. Love the work that he's doing. He's bringing in so many people. There's the work that we're doing. There's people all around the planet are waking up. And I don't know, waking up is different for everybody. For me, I woke up and went, it was like waking up from a dream and going, oh, that life wasn't even real. And I had to, like, my guides and my higher self came in and said, you need to let go of that old identity. Like, let her
Absolutely.
go. And that was a hard thing to do because I felt like I was going to die because the ego does die.
Yep.
I felt like that fear came in and they're like, you have to surrender. Like, you just have to let go of her. You're no longer Denise. And you're now like a lot of people, I can see why they would change their name. And sometimes when you have nicknames as children, because you're your pure self as children, that has
Right.
a tendency of kind of sparking. And now, when I started talking to my husband, and I'd refer to myself as D, because that's what my childhood friends would always call me, was just
Oh
D,
my God. I literally, when you said hi, I was going to say hi, D. I was
right?
literally going to say that. I was so drawn to it. And then I was like,
Yep,
but I chose not to. See, I didn't listen to my intuition.
exactly.
Example.
Yes, yes. This summer, I got a cool story. When I didn't listen to my intuition, I got stung 20 times by a bunch of hornets, and they were like,
Oh,
yeah, like sometimes your guys can be a little bit like, oh,
tried to
yeah.
tell you.
I come running into the house. I'm being attacked by bees. I'm being attacked by bees. I didn't listen to them. I didn't listen to them. I jumped in the shower and he's just like, see, gotta listen to your intuition, hun. I'm like,
Um,
right. Yeah. Sometimes those lessons get a little fun. So yeah. So this sounds so excited. I'm so
I
excited.
know.
I'm so excited to like redo it all and to teach the sciencey stuff for those that are interested in the science. Not everybody will be. Some people will go, oh, it was that one thing that you said about this experiment, or how you explain this, or how you explain that, and or it was the way that Bridget explained this, or somehow it wasn't what you said, just something happened and your nervous system went, hey, you just there's a part of you that went, I get that. I understand that. And then
Yeah,
things just, and once you get on that ride, then get ready because you have fun because you can play with energy. Like everything is
absolutely.
energy and you get to
And you
play
know
with it.
what? I have honestly, I have lost count. I don't even know, but I easily have to say in the duration I have done this now, I've probably tuned well over, well, close to 30,000 people.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So you
So,
know what you're doing.
and
Everyone
that's
is
a
in
lot of
good
that,
hands.
yeah, a lot of that is distantly too. So that alone is proof that the energy works, and um it can be sent. Well, like I just said earlier, it's no different than a radio station. We don't
Mhm.
see that frequency, but it's certainly pointing right at my radio when I need it, eh?
Exactly. Exactly. So and healing is obviously you're doing self-healing. You can do a lot of healing on friends and family. The difference with professionals is, well, A, you got insurance billing. B, you do have to deal with some medical issues that sometimes you need their area of expertise. But when you see a practitioner, like as a massage therapist or osteopath, you're only seeing me once a month. You're with you
Yeah,
24/7. I'm here to go in and move the stuff that, quite frankly, you're not going to be able to do on your own. And
right.
we all need it. We all go to our own healers and say, "Oh, this one's just a bit too heavy for me." It's like I always say, us as healers are like we're carrying, like it's like somebody's carrying all these books, and the healer comes in and says, "I'll open that door for you." And then
Exactly.
you drop the books and they can just pick them up for you and off you go. So they're not meant to open every single door for you. They're not meant to put
No.
your pants on. They're meant to go, oh, I need to step in. And it's a huge help, but it's that little bit you have to do the rest. So,
And I promise you, the more you use the energy and work with it, the more transforming it becomes, the more everything becomes more exciting,
mhm,
because you really, really feel part of the bigger picture of the oneness that we truly are. And you eventually tap into that vibe, that feeling, that oneness. And
yeah,
then your perception on humanity alters, and then you become more compassionate towards people. Like you just have a huge shift, because you begin to see yourself in everybody,
you really do.
right? You
Yep.
really
The
start to
oneness
see
comes
yourself in
in.
everybody, and then you decide what you want to mirror, right? You want to mirror the good stuff, you want to mirror the negative stuff.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
Awesome. Well, we're just about
it's
out of
ex-
time here, but oh my, I could sit and talk
already.
to you forever. So yeah, it's gonna be amazing. And I love nothing inspires me more than watching other people light up, watching other people,
i I
and
agree.
which
I
is why I got into
100%
doing teaching
agree.
full time. Yeah. Awesome. Oh yes, the lovely, call coming in. It's like the universe is saying, all right, girl.
Time.
So there you have it. Level 1 Reiki coming up November 2026. What else can I say? So there you have it. Reiki Level 1 coming up November 2026. Whether you've taken Reiki or you have not taken Reiki, this is going to be a personal transformation from the inside out. I know for me, when I had my awakening and my Kundalini awakening, that everything in my world changed 360. In no world did could I ever have understood all of the healing that I went through and what was causing it and what was happening and how much I can manage my energy. The power of manifestation is not what you think it is. We'll be having some classes about that later as well. Once you jump in and work with your own energy and and you can feel your soul self, everything changes. So I hope to see you inside the program. And if you need any more information, just reach out to Denise at info@echoridgeacademy.ca.